is presented by Chris Kalb. Chris is our art designer, our art director, our artist, or art tech. He's responsible for Pulpfest website, all of our advertising, print advertising, all that good stuff, and many other things. There's other stuff about him, but I left it on my paper that I lost. All right, so go ahead, Chris.
Okay. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for coming to this presentation about pulp premiums. I'll just fill in a little bit about myself, which is that I was huge. I read a lot of Doc Savage growing up, and when I found my first pulp magazine, which was The Feathered Octopus, Doc Savage, I fell in love with the pulps in general. And something that I got very attached to was all the extra material that you didn't get in advance and reprints. The letters page, the club column, the method of self-development, all of the stuff that made it a magazine instead of just a great piece of fiction. And I've been doing websites for almost 20 years about Doc Savage and then the Spider. And the focus has always been on filling people in on what they're missing with a lot of these reprints. And that has led to today's presentation. I'm not the top researcher of pulp premiums. I think that would be Rick Hall, who's done some amazing work and shared his research with me. And I'm not the top collector. That would probably be Dwight. And he's shared a lot of information and a lot of images with me as well. But perhaps I am the top sharer because I have been doing websites for so long. Now, I should start by saying that premiums, which are these generally free giveaways or nominal fee giveaways in the magazine, are actually, if you don't collect them, there really is. Premiums. We're not going to be covering, all pulp collectibles, all things outside of the magazines and the stories themselves. We're really focusing on the stuff that the publishers put out for the fans at the time, and also hopefully we'll get to some promotions as well, stuff that they sent to newsstands and that kind of thing. I'm sorry, but keep coming in on the mic. Not really used to it. So premiums, if you don't collect them, are really a scourge on pulp collecting. How many times have you or someone you love opened a pulp magazine only to see a big hole cut out of it? Is this going to help? Hopefully, it hasn't affected the story, but sometimes it does. And you even are missing pieces of. Hello. Is that better? I'll get it down. I'm good. This is great. Now I'm like in a recording studio. And I'm not even going to show you pictures of what they asked at the Thrilling Publications. You have to send in the name strip from the front cover of 3 issues to get some of these premiums. It's too gruesome. So let's move on. Just a little bit of background. The first fiction character premium that is considered this Frank Merriwell badge from 1900. And this was put out by Street Smith in 1900. The Tip Top Weekly started in 1896, I believe. And they had a club, and this was, they probably had membership cards, but none turned out. This is a medal that you would send away for, and it was like, I have it written down here. It was 2 coupons from the magazine, and this is a recurring thing you'll see, at 10 cents or 20 cents, and you don't have to cut up your magazine, which is a pretty good deal now, but at the time, who knows. So in 1932, the Shadow magazine started the Shadow Club. And in 1933, they started having premiums. So not only is this the 80th anniversary of Hero Pulps, it's also the 80th anniversary of Hero Pulp premiums. And the club started in 32, and a few months later, in the summer of 33 actually, you had this coupon to get an envelope of the Shadow. And here it is. These are really tiny, and I've blown them up, and they look really cool, but trust me, they're small. In fact, I kind of, as an adult, I was disappointed when I got one of these. I can't imagine, of course the kid paid less, I guess, but I can't imagine how they could go. And this is beautiful though. It's a lapel cut. We'll get to that, Anthony. And but this is actually not even the first design. There are two designs of this pin. And this turned up recently. It's an earlier sculpt. It obviously doesn't look exactly like the Shadow Club logo. There's only 2 or 3 of these floating around there. It may even just be a prototype, but they believe these were in circulation. And this was sent out. I have another view. This is from Dwight Farrow's collection, and it doesn't look like the Shadow, frankly. So they went back to the sculpt that we all know and love, which looks exactly like the Shadow Club logo. We're going to be covering all the Street Smith stuff together, and then all the popular publication stuff together in the Philly group. There's a similarity you'll see between the Shadow, Doc Savage, Pete Rice, and the Nick Carter Club. These lapel studs came on a card like this, and it covered that little circle in the corner. And that's why there's a hole in it. These were actually lapel studs. You would wear them on the jacket lapel buttonhole. Just reminding you what it is. It's interesting. I was talking to shadow art aficionado Bill Finnis, and he pointed out that these club logos are actually based on specific pieces of artwork. Can anyone guess what piece of artwork this is based on from the Shadow? Now, there's a lot of profiles of the Shadow, but the telltale sign is that they've actually carved his finger pointing there at like 7 o'clock. Anyone want to guess? Sure. Bill, you cannot guess. It is the Ghost of the Manor. And you see his little finger there. Yeah, and there's a number with this profile, but only one with the finger in that position. And now here's the Doc Savage Club pin. It's really awesome. And this one also based on a painting from Doc Savage, the same summer of 1933. That's your clue. From this angle, it doesn't look like he's looking down as he is on the Pulp magazine and applying makeup to Johnny's face. Anyone want to guess? You all know it. It's Quest of the Spider. So here's I'm just going to try to go faster. Here's a nice big scan of it, and here it is on the card, and you can see how it's placed right over a Doc Savage Club logo. This sort of shows you the screw on back and the thickness of it. That's sort of now they did make pin versions of the lapel studs. Here it is, and these are believed to be for girls, so they could wear it because of course they were wearing jackets with fucking holes, I guess. And so here's the full club kit for Doc Savage. Awesome envelope, but the additional piece there is a membership card, which includes, of course, the code of Doc Savage. Now, this isn't. I'm just going to say this once. The color on the screen is not exactly like it looks on my computer line. But you'll get the idea. So this is the back. Okay, so here's the big reveal. The front is, of course, the code of Doc Savage. You all know it, so I'm not going to say it out loud. And the code is a big feature of the magazine. They always printed it at the top of like the second page, and at the bottom is the not very exciting order form. There's the Doc Savage Club logo. The Doc Savage Club feature in the magazine was very focused on like values and things, whereas if you read the Shadow column, it's more about and stamping it out and doing it hard. This is a later version of the Doc Savage Club. This is getting really geeky. I'm sorry. This is an alternate Doc Savage Club header from the 40s. Let's go on to Nick Carter. There's the Nick Carter Club lapel badge. It's actually a little bit bigger than the, not disappointing at all, the Doc Savage and Shadow items. And they're all individually numbered, so you had a different number on each badge. This comes with a really big screw-on backing. Here's a pin version. Here it is on the card with the envelope. These images supplied by Dwight. Amazing stuff. And here's the complete Pete Rice kit. Pete Rice is the only other character of these four that has a membership card. If you see, you can cut off half of the card where the badge is, and that becomes your membership card. And it's really just saying that you're a deputy. You've been deputized by Pete Rice. And they made a special print of the pulp cover, and it says, "Ask your news dealer about." Basically ask your news dealer about to carry this magazine. And that didn't work out very well because Pete Rice and Nick Carter folded in 1936. But somehow within those 2 or 3 years, Pete Rice has actually 3 designs for this badge. This is the first, I believe, the first version because it's fancier. It's got cutouts on the star. Then there is the solid version, which is nice. And then this is, Rick Hall has this. It's beautiful. It actually looks more like the drawing of the Pete Rice Club logo than the other two. And it could be that, like the shadow, they improved upon it to make it look like more like the club logo. All 4 of these characters also had stampers in this, so that you can make your own shadow or Doc Savage stationery. And this is a shadow one. This looks like they carved out the word club. Actually, it's very ruddy there at the bottom.
Member.
And here's and yeah, where's the word member? Because
That's what was cut off of that.
does member go around the circle, or does member appear under? Okay, because usually it was you would get this is the I'm getting geeky here. This is the notice from Doc Savage. Usually it would be the logo of the club with the word member above it. And okay, this is another shadow premium. It's a shadow secret message sheet. The best image I can come up with is the facts. And it is a yellow sheet of paper with directions at the top and the shadow signature. And basically you dipped it in water and a secret message appeared. You dipped it in water, basically destroying your collectible, and that's what a secret message appeared. Oh, is that? Oh, yeah. It was probably like a Christmas story,
Drink more Ovaltine.
Right, exactly. There was a portrait premium for the shadow. According to Ted Higgs' collectible guide, it was this photo that also appeared on the cover of Shadow magazine, and that is not Rod LaRock, as it suggests in the caption, right? It's actually the art director, Bill Lowen. Thanks, Alan. Now, Doc Savage had portraits before the Shadow. This is what we looked at earlier. It basically went on for a year, and you would send in 3 consecutive coupons, and you could get a free suitable spring portrait. That's the first one was a beautiful portrait by Walter Baumhopper, sorry. That used to be an expert of it. And in retrospect, we all say, oh, that's the Quested Queen cover. They just used the Quested Queen cover. The premium is actually available before the magazine. So they didn't actually have that specially painted, but then saved some money by running it on the cover of the magazine. The second one, of course, is by Harris, and it's the Sea Angel cover. And that one, the Sea Angel cover, was published before the premium was offered. This is here you can see it with the envelope and the cardboard. for complete. And yeah, have a scan of the envelope. Arjun Harris. It does look like Kalb, because he's almost wearing a diaper. And then this is, again, from Dwight's collection. He had the envelope for the Baumhofer, and you can see the Baumhofer print came in a Doc Savage Club envelope. This is the coupon for it's a much different format, it's actually smaller, and it's the coupon for the Harris print. And what's interesting is when you read this, I can't blow it up, I'm sorry. They were still offering the Baumhofer print, they still have Baumhofer prints around when the Harris print was being offered. So they said, oh, tell us which one you want. And they were like, well, we only have a few left, but tell us which one you want. After that promotion was over, they started offering the Baumhofer print for 3 cents. Like, forget the coupons, give us 3 cents and we'll get this to you. And that went on until like June 1940. So this is like 5 years after the original promotion. They still had Baumhofer prints playing around, I guess. And you'll see, this is 38, you'll see the Doc Savage Award on the left. That's our next premium. This is a beautiful award. And it wasn't a premium that you got for yourself, it was something that you awarded to somebody else. And there was actually, this is another shot to give you a little bit more information of it from Bob Lester's collection. You had to fill out an application for the Doc Savage Award. And inside, over on the left, you had to write down everything that, why did this person deserve the award? And then you had to get 6 people on the right to corroborate all of this. And then on the back, there's an ad for the magazine. It's interesting because when you read Doc Savage, after a while they just got rid of the application. I think it was too much trouble for the editors as well as for the kids. And they just said, just write us a letter, we'll get to it. There's another nice picture of it, it's worth looking at. These pictures contributed by Scott Cranford, who brought this in last year. It's beautiful stuff. There's the Doc Savage Award page. They would print the winners in the magazine. So if you're looking for one, there's a list of people's names and addresses for a number of years that you can. I just gave away my secret to collecting. Now, I was surprised to find that there was another Doc Savage item that I didn't know about, and that's pretty much undocumented. It was in 1942 and part of 43. It's the Doc Savage Certificate of Honor. Unlike the Doc Savage Award, which you would award to somebody else, this you would award to yourself. You're basically signing your name and saying, I've been following the Doc Savage Code for 60 days. I deserve the Certificate of Honor, and they send it to you. I've never seen the Certificate of Honor. I maybe no one was honorable enough to get one, but it hasn't turned up, and people don't generally list this in any guides to collectibles. Moving on to Nick Carter, this is the best picture we have of the Nick Carter fingerprint set, which is a premium. There's also a store item that's a much bigger set, but this is the small. It's sort of like it looks like a single card with things tabbed on it, like ink and fingerprint, dust, and the instructions. So Bill Barnes is the last character we're going to talk about, and the only thing that's really turned up is the badge. I haven't seen the membership certificate that's mentioned in the column. There's a coupon, Air Adventurers. Unlike the Doc Savage Code, where they told you what the code was, in Bill Barnes magazine you got to vote on aspects of the code that you wanted, including such controversial topics as loyalty, and then you would send a coupon, yes or no. Did we want loyalty to be part of this creed? I don't know. Show of hands? Loyalty. Wow, that was low. That was really disappointing, guys. Now this might be another collectible. They had a model contest, and they gave out an award, and there's a drawing, I believe, of the award on the left. On the right, I'm not sure if it's the back of the first place award or if it's the second place award. And if you read the letters, they gave the models to NYU, and they were on display in the engineering department. And they saw, and this one's from the War Department actually on the left, saying these are great models. So let's move on to popular publications before I run out of time completely. The Spider Ring is actually a big crossover success in the collectibles field. It's a really valuable premium, and a lot of people who aren't Pulp fans are looking for it because it has a great design. This and the Operative 5 ring are always listed in the top 10 premium rings. It's working on it. It came in a little padded red box, and I've never seen a complete version with, say, a mailer and any kind of paperwork, so we don't know if there was more to it than that. Sorry. Okay. The Spider Ring was started basically in like the 5th issue and of the magazine. 6th issue. Okay, thank you, Tony. 6th issue of the magazine, and they even give an origin for the Spider Ring within the story. And then, of course, you want one, obviously. There's a typical ad for the premium. The premium is also used as a premium for the Spider radio show. And if you're like, say what? It's because we don't know anything about the Spider radio show except for this ad that appeared in the 1935 issue that says there was going to be a Spider radio show on Thursdays at 6:30 on KMOX. And if you sent this one, the Spider Ring was free. You sent in a box of Tasty Blacks. You don't know anything else about this radio show. It's. I don't know if it's in fact tasty or not. For 2 months in 1941, they offered, look at this, special, a limited supply of spider rings bearing spider seals which glow in the dark. So this is a completely underreported premium. Get your new luminous spider ring. This is actually, they had leftover glow in the dark spider rings from a Spider's Web promotion. This piece of it's actually just like 2 pages of a Spider's Web promotions booklet. There's a number of promotions. There's only half. See how it's cut off at the bottom? I feel like an archaeologist, not a collector, but these are the things I buy. It actually says Spider Ring glows in the dark. The ring for the movie was apparently a glow in the dark ring, and it was adjustable. Now this has never turned up, but a completely silver with no red spider ring has shown up. And yet, of course, there's never been a mention of a spider ring with silver without the red. So my own theory is that these are the glow in the dark rings, and the glow in the dark material hasn't somehow evaporated, just flicked off, or whatever. And there's only 2 or 3 of these that have shown up. Here's another one. There's the adjustable band. The second and final premium, of course, is the Spider pencil. Richard Wentworth, of course, didn't leave the mark of the spider using his ring. He used a cigarette lighter until May of 1941 when he switched over to a pencil for some reason in the stories. But then, of course, 2 months later, they offered it as a premium. So it made perfect sense. Here's a picture of one. It's a mechanical pencil. What makes it a spider pencil? Well, you take off the cap, and the eraser will print the mark of the spider. And only 2 of these have surfaced. We know from this, I scanned this from a book that's showing just a fragment of the Spider Returns. That's the second movie serial promotions book. That it says the Spider Pencil was also a promotion for the Spider Returns, as were the Spider Rings. But the interesting thing that it says there in the Spider Pencils is that they were available in an assortment of colors. So if you're out there looking for a Spider Pencil, it's not necessarily blue. It could be any color. Operative 5 ring. This is actually more valuable and rarer than the Spider Ring. I took this picture of the one that I am lucky enough to have, and it looked so crappy. I'm including the. I thought this looks great, and then you take a super close up, and you're like, oh. And so these are mint examples from a Hicks auction that really make it look awesome. This also came in a red box. That's the spider ring. Here's the ad. I'm trying to show here that on the inner band, if you have a genuine spider ring or operator 5 ring, there's a U with an arrow through it. That's the mark for Uncas. Uncas was a manufacturer in Rhode Island. There's a better view. This one also says Made in America, and supposedly those are anything that was shipped to Canada was probably stamped Made in America with a U. There's an arrow. You can see the tail end of the arrow, but not the front of the arrow as much. And the U. Uncas. We love the sides of the spider ring, but it was actually an Uncas design they were using before the spider and after the spider operator 5 ring. You'll see on the right, those two rings have the same side as the spider ring. And it's also true of, I think, the World's Fair 1939 ring, and there's a Superman ring, or one example of a Superman ring with that same crazy design that we love so much. This is a really rare item that I didn't know about until I started doing research. It's a letter from Curtis Steele, who's a fictional person, the writer of Operator 5, and it's on Secret Sentinel of America stationery. And I should pause and say that the club for Operator 5 was the Secret Sentinels of America, and for the Spider was the Spider League of Crime Prevention. Much more exciting titles than just the Shadow Club or the Shadow Club. But that was sort of the popular style. G8. So G8 and his Battle Aces, in a very early issue, they started what's called the G8 Club. And this was you got 5 friends together, and they each had to cut out a coupon from the same issue of the magazine. You send those in, you get a charter for your little G8 club. But they didn't have any kind of badge, they didn't have any kind of membership card, because they wanted everyone to operate in secret. And they did such a good job of convincing these kids to keep it a secret that none of this paperwork showed up until last year. And I just have to point out that it says under chapter, it says in parentheses, use the name of a local bird. And the kid wrote in the bat. I should also point out that in most GA stories, the bat side is the bad side, is the evil side. And so the charter also came with the secret orders and a code. And the code is incredibly tricky code, where it has spaces for vowels. Like you have to guess the vowel. It's really interesting, but somebody actually submitted this code to a contest, to a competing publication, or a sister publication. Actually, it was the same company, so they recognized immediately that they had just submitted the GA code. It's a funny story. Anyway. And the backside is blank, but of course this kid wrote the bat on the front of it. He drew a bat and he wrote the bat. So there were no other GA premiums until this special announcement in 1939, which was followed up with an actual order form in like 41, I don't know what the delay was, of a pin, a Battle Aces pin. Now this is for the GA club, that's a complete secret. This is the Battle Aces club, totally different. But they're affiliated. They work together, I guess, on aviation issues. I love this pin. It's very rare. Only 2 that I know of have shown up. And then even rarer, for 2 months in the last year of the magazine, they offered it again in gold. If you read the thing, it says, "Get your gold rings." So that's really interesting. Let's move on to the thrilling group, the Phantom. Detective is, of course, the biggest and longest running character. What? He didn't have a club logo, but he did like to put his finger on his chin a lot, as you'll see, like a lot. And so that sort of became his thing. So when they did launch the Phantom Detective Club, it was just him with his finger. There was friends of the Phantom. It was more of a casual group. And there's a membership. Oh, geez, people, this looks so good on this monitor, and of course it's completely washed out. But it says Friends of the Phantom, and there's even text on the back. Come up to me after the show and check it out. And there's the badge. It's beautifully sculpted. 2 different views just to show sort of the sculpting of it. Really nice stuff. G-Men counts as Hero Pulp because it was a single character magazine in Fowler. They had a badge, they had a membership card, which has not turned up, and they also had a fingerprint kit. But Rich has done some amazing research on all different fingerprint kits from the same company. And this one, it comes with a little fold-over thing, and you get a cheapy ink stamp and finger powder and instructions. And it's very similar to the Nick Carter set that we don't have good pictures of. But this gives us some idea of what it was. And in both cases, they also offered a store item of a much larger set. Same, I said that for Nick Carter, the same is true of G-Men. The Lone Eagle had the Lone Eagles of America. And they had a column, they even had flying instructions. They have a complete course in aviation in the back of the magazine. And then this is the best picture I could come up with of the membership card. It's obviously taken from a guide and it's half-tone. But one thing I did turn up is the other collectible, which is a little ID wall to put the membership card in. It's kind of hard to see the relief that that's the Lone Eagles of America. Took another shot with a different angle. You can see they stamped it, really embossed it with the Lone Eagles of America on it. And then it opens up, and it was also a combination memo book. So probably the back cover of the memo book stuck in the other one. And then you can't see the writing; it's disappeared. But this is somebody's 1938 car registration. They ended up using it for their car registration. They probably had it when they were 15 or 14, and then they grew up. They bought a car, and they started putting their registration in there. This is just showing the Lone Eagle coupon. I'm only showing it because on the other side, it mentions another premium, which is 12 pictures of aviation aces that you can order. It's not strictly a Lone Eagle premium, though, because they offered the same deal in Skyfighters magazine. The last character is Captain Future, and he had the Future Man, which is really cool because that was actually the name of the guys that he hung out with. And so it's like he was joining him. And they had a membership card, and then they also had rules that they sent for the club, but I've never seen the rules. Lone Ranger counts as a hero pulp because he was a hero and he was in a pulp. And they actually, even though it was a short-lived magazine, I think 7 or 8 issues, 7 issues, they did have a club, and there's a beautiful badge, and it's super rare. So is the membership card. I don't know. Maybe I should stop there. Or open it up to questions. I was going to move on into store items like the Ideal Library books and blah blah blah, which were advertised in the magazine, but not premiums in the sense that they weren't offered at a reduced rate or there was no special. But I know we want to get on the auction. Yeah.
Okay, so we know the report that Franklin books is offered a shadow ring authorized by Canadian for free with the 12 and also now has the offering of having that truck because of the 1934 to oppose the shadow. We have seen it as a not purchased. I'm not allowed to tell them. Right. But
I hope everybody caught that. Tony's keeping the premium spirit alive. Please visit his table tomorrow.
And then you have your Doc Bama pictures as well, right? In the new Doc's book. I think you folks were really enjoying Chris, so why don't we have him back next year for part 2? It's good enough now, Chris. What do you think? All right, so be back here, or wherever we are, next year for part 2 of Hero Pulp Premiums. Thank you very much, Chris. Good show.